So hello. Welcome back to my channel. Don't forget to like and subscribe and also support my small business at latricelimited.com. So Biden actually announced earlier that he will be having a pardon for people who had cannabis arrest. Okay, so there's a little bit more to this and I'll get into it. So it says Biden pardons all federal offenses of simple marijuana possession and first major steps towards decriminalization. Okay, so when you look at this in the grand scheme of things, you're like, oh my goodness, wow, that's, hundreds of thousands of people are going to be out of prison because of this. Oh my goodness, because it was federal offenses. This is great, right? Yes and no. Biden on Thursday pardoned all prior federal offenses of simple marijuana possession in a move that senior administrative officials said would affect thousands of Americans charged with the crime. Now you may be like, thousands, not hundreds of thousands? I'll get into it. No one should be in jail just for using or possessing marijuana, Biden said. It is legal in many states, and criminal records of marijuana possession had led to needless barriers to employment, housing, and educational opportunities. And that's before you address the racial disparities around who suffers the consequences. While white and black and brown people use marijuana at similar rates, black and brown people are arrested, prosecuted, and convicted at disproportionate rates. Okay? Too many lives have been upended because of the failed approach to marijuana. All right. Now, as you know, many states have already made it legal, etc. All right. Now you have the whole federal offenses, and we're going to get into that. But here's a couple questions I do have for this whole pardon that is supposed to be life-changing. Why are you doing it now? People have been talking about having this for years. Many years ago, many presidents ago. You were the VP with Obama, so why didn't this happen before? Obama was black too, so if you really felt this much about this, you really cared, and so did he. How come nothing happened? I find that to be very odd. So I'm just trying to figure out why you're now doing this. I think I know, but let's just brainstorm for a little bit. I got a tweet. President Biden will also ask Senator Becerra and the Attorney General to initiate the process of reviewing how marijuana is scheduled under federal law. So we're going to get into that real quick. Now, you may be like, what do you mean marijuana schedule? So for people who do not know, there are different schedules, which means different levels of intensities and how addictive it is. Okay. So what is the legal status in the U.S. of marijuana? Marijuana is a Schedule 1 substance under the Controlled Substance Act, meaning it has a high potential for abuse. Currently accepted medical use and treatment in the U.S. and a lack of accepted safety for use under medical supervision. All right. So whether or not you agree with that, which I don't agree with that. There's worse drugs that are not a Schedule 1. All right. They're like Schedule 2. And it's like, we really doing this, y'all? Fine. All right. I do have a thing here. So you know how I said it affects thousands of people? Here you go. A senior administrator official said that over 6,500 U.S. citizens from 1992 to 2021 were convicted of simple possession of marijuana under federal law, and thousands more were convicted under a Washington, D.C. code. This is very important. There are currently no individuals in federal prison solely for simple possession of marijuana, and most marijuana possessions convictions occurred at the state level. So think about it. Okay. Now you're saying, okay, well, it's going to get, 6,500 people, that'll be great. Right. Because they have that. Yeah. But it also says there are currently no individuals in federal prison solely for simple possession of marijuana, which is what Biden is saying that, yeah, we're going to free everyone who has had that. But it's like, is the number 6,500 or what happens to everybody else who maybe they had two different offenses or whatever? Are they going to be included in any of this or no? And a lot of these things, like they said, happens at the state level. I do have a little tweet here. Biden's announcement today is kind of smoke and mirrors. Most federal prosecutions for marijuana are for sale or trafficking, not possession, even when the amount of weed involved is very small. The number of people covered in this mass pardon is approximately 6,000. People are saying it's more on the line of 6,500. So here's the thing. There's two ways to look at this. Okay. So you have one where it's like, okay, well, it's, one is better than none. So 6,500 is better than none, Alex. I get that. But here's the thing. Because of how everything is framed, how it appears, people would think hundreds of thousands of people are being freed, okay? And they're being released from prison. So here's the thing with that, though. Now that has people back on the Biden train. Oh, Biden's great. Oh, I told y'all. You see, y'all doubted him. I didn't doubt my boo. You know what I mean? And then they're going to want to keep voting and keep this same party. Really, both parties shouldn't even be in any of these places, but whatever. But they're going to keep voting now because, oh, well, he did this. Well, he should have done this before, though. You know what I mean? So this is equivalent to the crumb, and who's to say that he's not going to backtrack? Well, Alex, why would you say that Biden would backtrack? That's ridiculous. That's insane. Well, he did it with the student loans. He said, hey, we're going to offer student loan relief. That today is October 7th. The application is supposed to be out early October, yet no one has given a date. And I'm sure they're going to try to slide that date in there so most people can't apply and get relief. They also were supposed to make it so that you get either the 10 or you get the 20, depending on what federal loan you had. Now it's like, oh, well, you can't have just any federal loan. Now you got to have a particular federal loan. You get what I mean? So now y'all gonna be excluded. And I mean, that's on y'all, which is messed up, so that's how I look at all this. I'm like, what are we doing? I mean, fine. I'm happy that, 6,500 approximately people are going to be out, for this, but everyone should be out for it. Now you might say, okay, well, Alex, what if, this person had a marijuana charge and they had a murder charge? Well, you take out the marijuana part. If we're going to pardon and we're going to make things legal, etc., and we're going to possibly make it federally legal, then take out the marijuana part. And then whatever crime they got, that's what they got. You know what I mean? That's what should be happening. I mean, look at Colorado, for example, and how they have worked with their weed sales and marijuana sales, cannabis sales, and how that has helped the society in general. And, then we see what happened with Illinois. People were buying like crazy. And it's like, this could really help people, but for some reason, it is what it is. But at the end of the day, I'm happy that 6,500 people are going to be freed from this. But I just really hope that there was more.